All right. Good day, everyone. And it's exciting to have you join us for another edition of our AOT 5.0 pre-conversation. Last week we had the pilot of this year's AOT pre-conversation where we had seasoned experts, the person of Mr. Ben, and then we had Shola Fumi who spoke to us last week. It was so exciting. And today we've come again with another package with the experts in their field. I'm going to have a very exciting day today. Before we start, kindly reach out to your friends, to your networks, tell them to join us for today's conversation. As always, such an honor to be part of the panel for today. And joining me also is my colleague, Mr. Tosin, who's going to be helping me to make justice to today's session. Mr. Tosin.
All right. Good evening, everyone, from everywhere you're joining us from all over the world. So I'm so excited this evening because this is another session to have this LinkedIn pre-event conversation. And so the clouds are already building up to the AOT 5.0, which is the Act of Technology. This is a global conference, which is always being hosted by EIC in partnership with Lagos State Government. And so today we'll be looking at a very, very wonderful topic, which is empowering the future. And as we empower the future, what is one thing that we are looking at doing? We are actually building the digital foundations of a creative Lagos. And Lagos has been, it's a good place. It's a fertile land for the economic system of the country. And that is why we are always taking Lagos as a case study. In the last few years, we have seen that for everything that thrives in Lagos and Nigeria, there is every 80% that will thrive in other part of the country. And that is why we are so concentrated in Lagos. And so this evening, I have my guests. I'm so happy to have them online this evening. I'm so excited. I'm super, super excited. I have Mr. Chinedu Chukwudi. I'm so glad to have you this evening. It's a privilege to be on this conversation with you. And I also have Priscilla Sonibare. I'm so happy. Honestly, I'm glad. And if you look at it, as we are building towards a creative economy and a digital Lagos, you will notice that something is so unique about this platform. We have a male gender, we have a female gender. Even from us moderating, the gender is balanced, and it helps you to think about the future, to let you know that for us to thrive in a creative economy, then we must not leave anybody behind. Everybody must. We must move as a team. Everybody must be moving together so that we can have a collective and sustainable creative system. So very quickly, I'm going to be introducing our guest today. And I'm so sure that if you are joining us from all over the world, you can actually, this is a very wonderful conversation, and you can actually prepare your questions because we'll be glad to have your questions, and my hosts are very, very ready to help you answer them. So I will start from Priscilla. Priscilla is the founder and CEO of Creative Auction. It's an online platform that focuses on providing African creatives with the tools and opportunities to personalize their careers, reach a global audience, and actively contribute to societal conversation. Under Priscilla's leadership, Creative Auction has achieved significant milestones, including winning the prestigious Creative Business Cup Nigeria competition within its very first year of operation. Before founding Creative Auction, Priscilla served as the communication and digital transformation lead at Hello Tractor, where she played a pivotal role in driving digital innovation and communication strategies. She holds a bachelor's degree in computer science from Babcock University. That's a very, very impressive profile. And one thing that stood out for me from that profile is the fact that Priscilla is a computer science, which means even to the career, even to the advancement of career, there is no career that is static. You don't have to be rigid about life. You just have to keep innovating. You just have to keep thriving so as to get all of this done. So very quickly, I'll be going to Mr. Chinedu Chukwudi. So nice to have you on board. And Mr. Chinedu Chukwudi is the CEO of Music Copyright Administrator and Copyright and Music Business Coach. He's very skilled in music business, music licensing, music publishing, music record business, music distribution, marketing, and sales. He has a very strong expertise around the public relations, project management, event management, media relations, management and organization leadership. This is a very, very cumbersome and a very, very thick profile. And I'm so glad to have you today. It's a privilege for me, honestly. And so he's a strong business development professional with professional certificate in data mining and virtual organization and business intelligence, data warehousing. And he has a master's in intellectual property and PhD in executive leadership. So I'm so glad to have you, sir. It's a privilege, just like I shared. And if we look at the profile that has been read, we will understand that something connects these two personalities together, and it's the fact that their profiles are data-driven. So you will see me talking about, mentioning data in their profile. And so we'll just go ahead this evening. Do you want to say hello to your audience? Mr. Shukudi, you just want to wave to them, Priscilla, so that they can know that we are already active. And so very quickly, because of this session that we are holding today and because of the topic, I want us to do something quickly before we take the panel questions. And after the panel questions, the audience can actually ask their own questions, and so we can actually progress from there. So when we talk about empowering the future, so in fact, it was recorded that the creative industry is actually, we have a lot of youth in that industry, and it's one of the major driver of the economy today, even in Africa, in Lagos, and all over the world. And so for this session, in my synopsis, I have that a widely recognized saying, often attributed to Ralph Waldo Emerson, implies that those who prepare are the rightful owners of the future. Lagos, a vibrant and cultural rich center, stands on the cusp of a significant transformation. In this digital era, the margin of technology and creativity has become a catalyst, ushering in an era marked by unmatched innovation. So this session will be looking at a very, very strategic part of the digital economy. And so I'll be starting my question from Priscilla, and I know that in just 1 minute, 2 minutes, she'll be able to give an answer to it. So I'll go and I'll be starting with Priscilla. Priscilla, so very quickly, as a founder of Creatives Auction, how have you seen technology incorporated into diverse creative sectors to promote inventive expressions and production? And I want to ask this, in particular, success stories or examples that you could share. That question could be, you could actually find it in the chat box, as my co-moderator will be helping us do justice to that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Oluwatosin. I'm excited to be here. So to respond to the question, we all know that technology has been very instrumental in unlocking many opportunities in the creative sector. Creatives now have the opportunity to express themselves in new ways, reach bigger audiences, and also collaborate at a distance. And there are many examples that I could give for its application in the creative sector. I could start from the visual art space, which is where Creatives Auction is focused, and the various applications we see in that space, starting from digital art, which has been, around for a while, that leverages software to create, digital pieces of art. There is also online exhibitions that leverage, for example, the metaverse. We see creatives being able to have their artwork displayed on the metaverse and create this immersive experience that leverages, technology as well, where people don't have to physically go to galleries anymore to enjoy art and to view art and even to purchase art. We also see the application in augmented reality, where there's actually a particular artist that will give an example. His name is Olowu, and I think sometime earlier this year, CNN actually did a piece on him where he does traditional paintings, but he has an element of augmented reality integrated. And so what happens is when you scan on those paintings, the paintings come alive, and it's really cool. It's very impressive. And so there's so many applications. We could talk about the application even in fashion as well. We have use cases where 3D is being used for fashion modeling. And we've even had, I think her name was Hanifa, who did a show with 3D models where she didn't have to, you know, sometime in the pandemic, when the pandemic was at its peak, she actually hosted a show using 3D models. And so the application of technology in the creative sector is diverse. We can talk about, I'll leave music for my colleague, but yeah, there are so many applications, and yeah, that's my view.
All right, so thank you for that wonderful answer. So it means that as we keep evolving, as the world keeps evolving, so one thing we can actually take away is the fact that technology has a lot of roles to play. And I will go back to actually say in the era of COVID, there was a time COVID came and it shocked everybody. But now we all have, you know, everybody you can even host a conference live now. You can be somewhere, somebody's doing wedding somewhere and you're attending. You can be dancing at the four corner of your room. And just like you mentioned, the creative industry, the AR system, where you can actually use the AR machine, you know, just see a printed image and you are seeing it live. You know, this is even one of those interesting parts that people are using to learning in some other part of the world now. People are really deploying this AR to learn, you know, to make sure that everybody have access irrespective of wherever they are. So very quickly, let me go to Dr. Shukudi, because I've actually seen in that profile that he has a PhD. So from a CEO perspective, sir, within the entertainment solutions domain, in what ways have you seen technology integrated effectively into entertainment and creative sectors? And also, could you share specific instances where technology has revolutionized productions of facilitated incentive expressions, sir? So the question, you can actually find it in the chat box too. Thank you.
Tosi, thanks, and Antonia. And it's a big pleasure joining you guys on this platform. When you talk about technology, I think it's a wide subject, but I want to say that technology and digitalization has really affected everything in the creative space, how you create content, how you assess content, how you even experience those content, and how you distribute or even consume them. So technology is driving everything in the creative enterprise. So if you have not latched onto it, maybe you are living under the rock. And I will give you an example. In the music industry and in the copyright space where I function very well, you will recall that, let me take your mind back. How was CDs and cassettes and music, you know, how were they produced before? Music were produced in CD format. Some of us that are growing up now would not even know there was a time that one of the format of media that carried music was cassette and CDs. So you look at it that then record labels, if they want to produce music after the artist has created the content, they will take the music to a replicating plant so that the replicating plant can press the music on a CD. And once the replicating plant has pressed the music on a CD, the record label will take the same CD to a marketer. Please follow the step. We'll take the music to a marketer. A marketer will now take the music to record stores, to music stores. Music stores will now take the music and make it available to the public where consumers can come and buy. But with technology, all of that long process have been shortened. The gatekeepers, whether it's the replicating plant, whether it's the marketers, whether it's the music stores, have been reduced into one or two levels. So what happens now? In music distribution, you have do-it-yourself music distribution services or aggregators or streaming services. So you don't really need to go to replicating plans. So technology has taken that away. So what has technology done? Two things. Technology has made it easy to distribute your content from the comfort of your home. With your mobile phone, you can distribute your music, and your music will be seen everywhere across the world. So the long process has been taken away. So that's the importance of technology. I will give you, I don't know that you've heard about the first album, the first Afrobeats album that was created in 3 hours. Have you heard about that?
Just hearing that.
Okay, you can Google it. It's titled Infinite Echoes. A 9-track album was created by an artist called Eclipse Nkasi using AI tools, and that made it the first AI-generated Afrobeat album. I think this was like 2 months ago. A project that would have taken you for like 3 months took this gentleman 3 days to create a full album, create songs for just 3 days. And how much did he spend? From the records, he spent about 500 USD just to purchase the necessary AI tools. So you can see what technology has done. So it's changing the way we behave, it's changing the way we assess content, it's changing the way we interact. If you're even talking about the immersive experiences, you talk about the VR, the AR, you talk about the MR. These are changing the concept of how gaming, concerts, cinemas are being viewed. You mentioned COVID. During the COVID time, for the first time, we're able to see that we can actually be in Lagos and have a live streaming event, and we're being watched all over the world. That's the power of technology. So it's not a joke that you want to go into the entertainment business and you neglect technology. The thing is that for every 3 months, technology is evolving. Technology is evolving every 3 months, it's evolving. And if you need to survive in this space, whether you're a visual artist, whether you're a content creator, whether you're an artist, whether you're a movie producer, whatever you are doing within the creative space, you must reinvent yourself and adapt to changing technology. And the tools are available to make things easier for you. I think technology has made life easier and quicker for us.
All right.
That's my short perspective to that right now.
All right. So I'm already engrossed in that conversation. And it looks like I'm already jotting, and I'm so careful so that I won't just allow you to start lecturing because I know you have a lot of things to say, you and Priscilla. So I'm just being careful. I'm just being careful because I don't want to be carried away by the conversation that will be so out of the time. So I'm trying to look at the time.
Sorry,
but that's a very great one. So it means that there is an involvement. The creative space and the creative economy, there is a relationship that exists between the creative economy and technology. And this keeps evolving. We are not stopping. In the next few years, we might have something more better than AI. Who knows? We might have something working at maybe nano speed. You are looking for something online and you're already getting it. So that's a very great answer. And so I would love us to take the next question, and I'll be asking Priscilla for that question. So Priscilla, so this is a question for you. How can technology be leveraged to enhance educational initiatives in the creative fields? And what strategies have you found effective in integrating technology into training and education for building creative talent? The question, you can actually look at it too at the chat box. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. So I would say a good place to start is what we're doing right now, which is leveraging technology to basically have a conversation where we're providing insights and knowledge around the creative economy in Lagos and how we can move that forward. And so I would say that leveraging tools like, Zoom, Google Meet, just digital tools that allow us to collaborate from, different parts of the world is one of the key ways that we can leverage technology in educating when it comes to the creative sector. There's also, I would give an example. In Abuja, there is a digital museum. It's called Discovery Museum. It's one of my favorite places because it provides such an immersive experience. So what they have is digital screens that display information, educative information around, the history of Nigeria and, past leaders and things like that. And leverage it. That's a great place to go as a creative. Maybe if you want to learn something around, the history of Nigeria or something around culture or whatever it is, having immersive experiences like that make it so that you don't have to be in front of a book to read and learn about, whatever it is that you want to learn about in the creative space, where you get to do that in a more technology inclined way. I think is one of the applications that could be leveraged. I also think that, but one of the applications we use at Creatives Auction is social media as well, which is also part of technology. We try to scout every month. We try to scout for opportunities for creatives, grants, residencies, just opportunities that can help them move their career forward. And when we share on social media, it's one of the posts that tends to get the most saves. Sometimes we have 200, 300 plus creatives saving this, and that's information for them that can help them move their career forward. And they are only able to get that information because we can take advantage of technology to pass that information to them. So when it comes to education, there's so many ways that technology can be leveraged. We're already taking advantage of some of those tools, but I'm sure as we move forward into the future, things like AI, tools like AI as well would play a big role in creating personalized experiences. For example, we could have a platform that has is personalized for creatives. So if I go on that platform, I can say, I'm in this sector and I want to learn more or, upskill myself in this particular area. And I have content that is tailored to my needs, my educational needs, and I can do that from wherever and, grow in my space. So these are some of the applications that I can think of for technology in, educating in the creative space.
All right. Thank you very much for that wonderful answer. So I'm learning more. Even me, I'm learning, because I have tried before the commencement of the session to actually roll out all of those things I have on my head to be available to learn from this session. And I love that we're able to actually cite some questions. I have a general question for you and Mr. Chukwudi, that is after we are through with the panel session, so that we can actually see how we can bring technology to actually reach out to more persons, probably in the underserved community, helping them to understand what creative economy is all about. But quickly, let me ask Mr. Chukwudi this question. So, sir, how crucial is a resilient digital structure for creative industries? And what steps should cities like Lagos take to ensure high-speed internet and widespread connectivity to nurture creative endeavors? Thank you, sir.
I think you've just mentioned a critical element of a resilient digital structure, which is high-speed internet, which falls under what you would really call the network infrastructure. But first of all, you want to ask what is really a digital structure. With respect to the creative space or the creative industry, I would say that digital structures would encompass various elements that contribute to one. Now, listen, various elements that contribute to one, to the creation, distribution, consumption of digital content. And what are those things that enables the consumption, creation, or the creation, distribution, and consumption of digital content? Priscilla has mentioned one of them when she talked about social media. So there are two critical elements that are important for you and I to consume digital product. And one of those is digital platforms. The reason we are speaking, like Priscilla said, I'm far away, miles and miles away from Nigeria, and it looks like we are in one room, and we are able to do that because there's a digital platform that has enabled us to stream this conversation. The digital platform also enables you to have an online marketplace, e-commerce. We can do so much without moving away from the comfort of your home. However, a digital platform will not function if there is no robust network infrastructure. And when we talk about a robust network infrastructure, like you just said, we're talking about high-speed internet, reliable, fast. If my network is shaky and yours is shaky and Priscilla's own is shaky, this conversation will be dead on arrival. So if we want to have efficiency and innovation within the creative industry, which will allow creators to navigate the digital landscape, and have access to global audience, then we need a robust or resilient digital structure. That is not debatable. And I like what Lagos State, I don't know whether it's Lagos State that is doing it, at least in the part of Nigeria that I live. I noticed that some months back, there were fiber cables that were being laid on the ground, So that is one thing that Lagos can leverage on. So it's important that we leverage on the digital platforms, we leverage on strong network infrastructure. You go to the airports, you go to some airports around the world. I'm in a coffee shop downtown, just close to my hotel here. And all I needed to do is just switch over to Wi-Fi and I have internet. I don't need to pay for it. So for a vibrant city like Lagos, high-speed internet is not debatable. And I think I can just give you one good thing that Lagos State can do, which I think they are doing: investment in network infrastructures, high-speed internet. Lagos State can collaborate with telcos. Lagos State can collaborate with internet service providers. We can even give them rebates in terms of tax concessions and all of that. You can create in our airports, in our bus terminals. I know the blue bus, the red bus, and all of that. In those terminals, you can put free Wi-Fi. And what this does is that it creates commerce. People can do mobile transfer, people can do money transfer, people can interact within that speed of time. Why? Because you have provided the important infrastructure that is required for you and I to transact. So government can do public-private partnership with the major telcos in Nigeria. There's so much. We can create free internet services, especially in our villages. Lagos, yes, well developed, but you and I know that there are still parts of Lagos that are still far from the city. We can actually invest in such places so that we don't have to have people moving around, moving away. You live in Badagry, you work on the island and all of that. We can actually create a space where we can work virtually. COVID has taught us that we can work virtually. And for you to work virtually, for you to work remotely, you need a robust network infrastructure. And one of those things is high-speed internet. And I've just told you the way you can do it. Proper investment in that area will really change the landscape of Lagos. Sorry, I hope I'm not talking too much.
All right, thank you very much. So one thing I picked from what we have said is the fact that the right investment can actually make every one of us in Lagos feel as though we are in the same city while we are different places.
Yes.
Somebody in Badagry can have a feel of somebody in Ikeja. In Ikeja, you can have a feel because there is an investment that can actually drive the system. And
Josie, it's not difficult. It's just getting the right partnership. The telcos are there, the ISPs are there. It's getting the right partnership. I don't need to move from Badagry to Lekki to work. I don't need to do that. You know, I'm here far away. I can do business with you. I can make transfers. I can sign checks. There are digital signatures. I don't need to move. But the structure that you need that will drive that is having efficient internet service. If you don't have that, then everything will be manual, you'll be draggy, government will be spending. See, we are talking about sustainability and the environment. If I don't have to take my car outside, carbon monoxide is minimized. We live healthier. That's what I'm saying. But because Priscilla will put his 4Runner on the road, Tosi will put his G-Wagon on the road, Antonia, maybe you have an S-Class, you put it on the road, we all put our vehicles on the road. What you are doing is that you are disseminating the lives of the people. But with a proper investment in internet and network infrastructure, I don't need to go out, but we can have a strong population, healthy.
Wow.
So let's look at it in that direction. Wow. Thank you.
So I'm so impressed. And one of those reasons why I'm excited and impressed about this session is the fact that we have been able to integrate the SDG goals, which is sustainability. And
absolutely.
At the end of the goal is the partnership and collaboration, which is the SDG 17. And we have also even talked about climate. We have talked about this. So we can see that for us to have a sustainable space where peace reigns, then everybody have to work together. We have to work as a community to get it right. And so on that note, I'll be giving the ball to Antonia to take the next question. But I want to tell you that this session is so engaging. It's so interesting. I love the fact that we have been able to, we are now moving into the sustainability. We are discussing sustainability while even talking about the creative economy. And so that's so great. So Antonia, you can have the floor. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you for passing the baton to me, Tosin. Like you said, it's really been educative. I've been listening and it's been amazing. Thank you, Mr. Chinedu. As you can all observe, our panels today, they are very passionate about what they do and they actually know their onions. And like Mr. Chinedu said, he has brought up his reasons, and that's what AOT 5.0 is actually. AIC in partnership with Lagos State is saying, okay, we have all these things on ground. What more can we do to make Lagos State the best that it should be? So if you haven't registered for the AOT 5.0, kindly go to the link and click to register. The link will be posted on the chat box, and you can also go to our pages and also click to register. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Mr. Chinedu, for speaking so passionately. I'm going to be speaking to the power lady on seat today, that's Priscilla. Mr. Chinedu already touched sustainability. I'm also going to be asking you some questions. How do you see the role of technology in ensuring a sustainable and inclusive environment within the creative realm? Earlier on, Mr. Chinedu already threw in some light to this question, but I'd like to hear it from your own perspective. How can initiatives like your initiative, the Creative Unction, how are you contributing to this agenda?
Okay, thank you. So to start from a broad, just broadly speaking, around the ways that technology helps with sustainability, speaking towards the environment. I would say technology, because of, having access to things like virtual exhibitions and being able to just do things where there's no need for physical resources. So compared to like if we had to host a physical exhibition, the resources that goes into it, maybe if you have to feed people and things like that, all of those things, and then maybe pollution that comes after an event like that, those things are curbed by leveraging technology to host a virtual exhibition. On our end, as a brand, one of the key reasons why we started the brand was to help African creatives build sustainable careers. And so moving away from just talking about the environment, but talking about even the careers of visual artists themselves, a lot of them struggle, a lot of them give up after, a few years of practicing, because it's a bit more difficult compared to counterparts in other industries. And part of the reasons is, I would say the lower appreciation for creative, the creative visual arts, especially in Africa, where, on the continent. And so part of our goal is to ensure that these creatives can build careers that are sustainable, and we do that through leveraging our platform. We have an e-commerce marketplace. We offer services to help them professionalize their careers. We also recently started an initiative around African arts that speaks to societal conversations in a more impactful way. And so we want to leverage these initiatives to help them find other ways to generate revenue from their work and build careers that can sustain them without having to depend on 9-to-5 jobs, which are already unavailable. And then when we talk about inclusivity as well, we we're very key on ensuring that there is female representation on our platform. And so right now we have over 35% of the artists on our platform as women, and social media definitely plays a role in helping us reach this, female artists, because we can create targeted marketing to reach female artists specifically and have them sign up to join our platform. So these are some of the ways that on our end we're leveraging technology to ensure that we're, adding towards the sustainability and inclusivity conversation in the creative space.
All right. So Priscilla, that's a very great one. And while we were talking, something resonated with me. And it's the fact that sustainability does not have to do with what you are doing presently. You have to look at the bigger picture, which is a long-term goal. And one thing that resonated with me about the creative industry and what we are doing, we can even take this session as a case study. For instance, if you had a meeting by 2 p.m. today, and you're also supposed to have one with us by 5 p.m., and you are somewhere, it might not be easy, networking down from that place. So technology is actually helping us also to actually make that even some of our initiatives are sustainable. They can actually go through. We don't have to be cancelled. We don't have to cancel an event. We don't have to do this because somebody's in traffic and all of that. And so I'm so impressed about that answer, and I love that you actually mentioned that there is inclusivity and the gender balance. So that's a very great one, Antonia, and so you can go ahead.
All right, amazing. Today's sit is heated. Amazing. And actually also Mr. Chinedu also cited the example in the music industry about how technology has broken down the whole process of writing an album, releasing an album, marketing the album and all that, and actually just reducing the chain flow in all that. So I'm going to be asking a question to Mr. Chinedu. Mr. Chinedu, as we all know, is the CEO of Purple Blue Entertainment Solutions Company. From your perspective, Mr. Chinedu, how can digital advancements in entertainment and creative industry prioritize the sustainability we're talking about and inclusivity, as Priscilla has spoken? Also, considering the environmental impact and promoting diversity in creative expressions and opportunities. So you can actually reference the question on the chat box.
Okay, I want to go back to, and Priscilla, thanks for that great practical answer. Josie, when we were talking, we did mention about the SD goals, 17 goals. Yeah. Yes, and the entire concept of that goal or the goals is to have a safer world, a safer planet, so that we do not pollute our waters, we do not pollute the land, we are able to drive away poverty, people have quality life, good education, and all of those things. And people in the creative space, they do have an important role to play in achieving the goals, the sustainability goals. And it's because it's important. I like you rightly mentioned, I told you the long process it takes to manufacture a CD. If you have been to a CD plant before, you understand that a CD plant can stretch miles and miles and miles with all manner of infrastructure in terms of physical infrastructures, you know, producing CDs and other media materials. And they come with their negative environmental impacts. You can imagine a vegetation, a green vegetation that has been preserved, and somebody bought off that space just to build a manufacturing or CD replicating plant. What you have done is that you have altered the ecology of that environment. So the environment, if you do not love the environment will not show you love. So what the digital technology has done is that by introducing digital distribution, you have reduced physical waste. Automatically, you have reduced physical waste. So that's one way of sustainability. The second way is in the creation of digital content, we can actually employ eco-friendly technologies. Because when you look at a lot of time, you have data centers that are scattered all over the place. In building those data centers, we can actually employ eco-friendly technologies in building those places so that we can reduce the carbon footprints. You know, there are a lot of carbon footprints there that by employing the right technology, we can actually reduce that. And I did say this when I was talking initially. We need to encourage remote and virtual collaboration. We need to embrace remote work. I keep saying this, but did you listen to Elon Musk when he was talking to the British Prime Minister a week ago or thereabouts? You know, Elon Musk said that in a few years to come, I think he said about 5 years or so, I don't know how fast that will be, but he did say that AI, there'll be no job for a lot of people because AI would have replaced a lot of physical workforce. Should we be scared? But we need to think about the technology and we need to think about the environment when we deal with it. So I think we need to look at how we embrace remote work, virtual collaboration, rather than moving around and back and forth. We can reduce carbon or lower carbon emission around us. We can deploy renewable energy solutions, truly. And one thing Priscilla talks about, the arts and all of that. We have national libraries all over the place, so, and all of, but we can employ digital archiving We can actually employ digital archiving in our storage rather than building physical archival centers and all of that. So we must be mindful of the environment. If we want the environment to take care of us, then we must be conscious, make conscious efforts of being mindful of the environment. And before I pass the baton, in terms of inclusiveness, if you've watched what a lot of in the music space now, what a lot of the artists have done is they've tried to incorporate in their music, they've tried to incorporate diverse culture into their music. So when an artist is singing, you'll be surprised that an Olamide is singing, but there is Yoruba in the song, there is Igbo in that song, there is Pidgin in that song, there is English in that song, in one song. So I think, and that's what technology enables us to do, that you can walk into the studio and you can incorporate all of this culture. Nigeria has over 250 ethnic groups, several hundreds of languages. What technology has done is that you are able to include all of this in a track. And the benefit of that at the end of the day is that it strengthens the fabrics that hold us together as a nation, and it promotes unity. Let me leave it at there for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chinedu. Like my colleague earlier cited, that it's so easy to get engrossed in your conversation and so I get lost in the way. Thank you so much. Priscilla, over to you. You know, earlier on you're telling us about what you do at Creatives Auction, and it's so remarkable what you're doing. I'm so glad to be a part of your agenda. You're making us smile. I'm going to be asking a question. So considering your role, you already started citing some examples of what you do at Creative Auction. How do you envision hosting and supporting these tech-driven events? You spoke to us earlier on about education, the importance of education. You also spoke to us about how your platform is some sort giving visibility to some of these artists. So can you tell us, like I said, how you envision hosting or supporting these tech-driven events, competitions, and exhibitions that foster innovation and fresh ideas within various creatives? Because we are not just talking to speak over people's head, right? We're talking to profile solutions and to also show people how they can also, you spoke about integrating technology in our daily routine. So we're showing people how to do these things in their daily activities, not rocket science, it's just implementing technology in your daily life. So over to you. Yeah.
Okay, so as a brand, we actually have it in our, I would say, near future goals to host a virtual exhibition. One of the things we did once we had launched last year was to have some of the pieces that we have on our marketplace on the metaverse. And, you know, it was really cool to still have that, you know, live. People can go to the metaverse to see some of those pieces, to interact with it in a more immersive way. And we want to leverage that platform to host a virtual exhibition where we invite, you know, artists from, because we don't only work with artists from Nigeria, we try to work with artists from across Africa, so we can have a mix of, you know, artists from various countries come together and we host something on the metaverse and have people actually interact with their artwork on the metaverse. I think that's one of the exciting initiatives that we would want to launch in the near future. Our African Art for Change initiative, we're also leveraging technology as well, working with these artists and trying to create artwork that speaks to key societal conversations. And we're leveraging technology to promote their art pieces to people around the world, right? And we, as a smaller brand, we are excited. We're always excited for opportunities to collaborate with brands that work in the creative sector, brands that are already doing great work in hosting events around, how to move the creative sector in Lagos, around Nigeria forward. So it's part of what we want to do as part of our strategy to grow as a brand, is to continue to have these tech-driven events that really push for growth in the African, Nigerian, creative industry.
Oh, all right. So Priscilla, that's a very, very great one. And I'm learning from this session. There are a lot of things that are coming back to me. I'm actually relearning. I'm trying to, get myself involved. I'm not just here to moderate. I also want to learn. And one of those things you said now that actually turned out for me was the fact that you mentioned that you and your community are bringing different artists from across Africa. And you know what comes to my head? What comes to my head is this feel of community. I'm bringing people from Africa. Somebody from Nigeria is meeting somebody from Togo. Somebody from Togo is meeting somebody from South Africa. And with that, everybody's having the community mindset that we are like this. We are together. I don't, when you have a community, it's actually an avenue for you to even learn something that they are doing and you think, okay, what can we do better? How can we do this better? So I love the fact that while you are trying to create, while you're trying to expand the creative industry, you are actually looking at inclusivity, which you have mentioned earlier, and also the sense of community, because community is something that every one of us, if we must get it right, if the SDG goals must be achieved, then the sense of community is something that every one of us must have. The problem of this becomes a problem of me. The solution from this person must be something that everybody can work around, to actually integrate. And I'm so super excited to hear that from you. And I'm giving the floor to Antonia. I'm so impressed this night. I'm so impressed. I'm serious about it.
Thank you, Tosin. Like I stated earlier on, our panels, they know their onions. Thank you, Priscilla. I was about to say, book me up, send me an invite. I'm sure going to be attending. So you can count on me. I'll be there. I'll attend. Over to Mr. Chinedu. Today's panel is so amazing, but we have to work within the time schedule. So quickly, I'm also going to be directing the same question to you. Like I said, we're talking about integration, we're talking about action. We're not just professing solutions to people. We want them to know how to take actionable steps to achieving a creative and a digitalized Lagos state. So I'm going to be asking you the same question. You are the CEO of Purple Blue Entertainment Solutions. How do you envision technology enhanced events and competitions contributing to the growth and innovation within creative industries based on your experience, sir?
I can just give you a simple answer how it does enhance this, and it's simply the global outreach. It's accessibility that it creates. These days, technology can enable anything, whether it's events, whether it's competition, all of this can be organized online, it's now a global village. It's a global village. What technology has done is to broaden participation all across board, and allows creators to collaborate with other creators from different regions of the world. You are here, you are making content with someone that is in Australia. So that's what it's as simple as that. It gives you global reach, it creates access for you. And like I keep saying, collaboration has become easier. I don't really need to travel abroad to collaborate with anybody. We can all do that. But I want to just pick from what Priscilla has said, and that is key: education. Education is key. And part of the education I want to focus on is in the area of networking and mentorship. That is important. So what the virtual event and competition can offer is extensive networking and mentorship. Gone are the days where you don't really need to look for mentorship by traveling, but what this has enabled us to do is virtual events and competition has given us extensive opportunity to network and to be mentored. And I think it's one area that we need to invest time on. Then the other thing I want to talk about is it enhances what you would call data-driven insights. You have insight about data that are driving every activities on, like we that run a distribution service. I can just give you an example. With your handset, you can actually know where your music is being streamed. You can know the demography that is streaming the song. You can know how much it is doing in a particular region and on which streaming service that it is being streamed. And what does that do for you as a creator or as an artist? It helps you to plan your events, your shows, and it also helps you to plan merchandise. So that's it. And do we talk about the immersive experiences and all of that? So I think we cannot underrate the benefit of technology and how it can enhance the growth and innovation within the creative space. So, but one thing I can tell you, the reach, the accessibility, the ability to network and be mentored, and also the fact that you are able to generate data based on the insight that the technology provides for you. I'm mindful of time, so let me stop here.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Chinedu. Thank you so much, Priscilla. Tosin, it's been so amazing to be part of today's panel. I've learned a lot. And I would also like to nudge our audience once more to register for the AOT 5.0 event. And also check out the Purple Blue Entertainment and also the Creative Active for more information on how to follow them and the amazing things they're doing. Tosin, what would you like to say? Have you been learning as much as I have?
Honestly, I'm just super. I'm so excited. And that's just the truth. And you know why? I remember while I started the session together with every one of us, I mentioned that one thing that is making me excited is the fact that our audience are data-oriented. And while the conversation was going on, we're moving to sustainability, we're moving. I was so glad that we're even able to round up the session citing the importance of data. And one thing that data will do is it helps you manage your resources very well. It helps you know this is where I'm supposed to go. This is what I'm supposed to do. Okay, this is where I'm getting my traction from. Okay, what can we do? But I'm so sure that while we were talking, while we started talking about the CD days and all, why people were, you have to go somewhere to get your CD. I remember when I was even growing up, we have to go and rentage. You see people renting CD. You have to rent CD, and you're waiting for days. Okay, we are waiting. Won't you return it? And you're saying, sorry, we don't have light. I have not been able to watch that something. I remember
or when you were watching it, the cassette got stuck into
the system and something like that. And so it means that some persons might have been taking a data point to say, okay, how many of these cassettes are people, how many people have viewed it? What can we do to reach more persons? And it's making it seamless. It's making it looks like all of us are, we are just together. These days, I don't have to look for a way to go buy cassettes somewhere. I can just say, okay, can you send me this music on your phone? Can you add me to some, and we are fine. We are there. So it means we have to evolve as the technology is evolving. And I'm so super excited because next week again we'll be having another conversation. And I want to tell my audience, I know a lot of people have a lot of questions. You can follow us, you can drop your questions, we answer them. I want to say thank you, Mr. Shinedu. Thank you, Priscilla, for making yourself available for this session. We do not take you for granted, and I want you to know that we love you. We are so happy, we are so glad to have you. We are super charged for next week, Friday, because this conversation is going to be a 4-week conversation, and we are looking, we are building the cloud for AOT 5.0. We'll be happy to get a feedback from you to know, to hear what you have to tell us what we can do better and how we can actually go about this session. Thank you very much for everyone watching me all over the world. And so, because Antonia started the session, I want to tell her to wrap up the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, amazing audience, for joining us from all around the world. Once again, do not forget to register for the AOT 5.0. You can follow the AOT 5.0 handle on our various social media platforms. Thank you. And do stay tuned for our next week edition of the AOT 5.0, the biggest tech gathering event, pre-conversation, going to hold the same time, the same of next week. Thank you so much. Do have an amazing day. Thank you, Chinedu. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you,
Priscilla.
Tosin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.